make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button. Share this video out to all of your followers. And let's get it cracking. All right. So if you guys can hear me okay, let me know in the chat. Give me a 1 if you guys can hear me okay. All right. If you guys are not able to hear me, give me a 2. Let me know. I'm just checking some things real quick to make sure that everything is okay. Sometimes my microphone jumps around and it'll happen to jump onto my camera mic, and I have no idea that it did that because it's got a mind of its own. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully it's not doing that. Hopefully everything sounds crisp and clear. All right. So good. I see some ones in the chat. Make sure you guys, if you guys have not smashed the like button, please make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, make sure that you guys share this video out. This is an important topic, in my opinion. All right. And I want to actually have a discussion about it. All right. So let me just say what's up to everybody who is in the room, because you could be anywhere on Saturday morning, but you're spending it with me, and that's definitely appreciated. We got, hey, Mr. Knickerbocker in the chat. What up with it? We got my man Desmond Peoples in the building. We got Carla Lockhart. We got RG Titan. We got Sean Williams. We got my man AB Promotions in the building. All right. Did I miss anybody? No, we got everybody. All right. That's what's up. Good to see everybody. All right. Let me ask you guys a question. Have I convinced you so far since watching my content? Some of you guys been around for a long time. Some of you guys are new. That the world is correct. Now, for people that really don't know what I mean when I say that, I'm not saying that the world is just. I'm not saying that the world is perfect. I'm not saying that the world is the way that it should be. I'm saying that the world is correct. Is 1 + 1 just? No. Is 1 + 1 what it should be? I mean, yeah, that's the answer. Is there any ethical value behind 1 + 1? Not unless you're doing a cash transaction, right? So is there any obligation to the world to adjust to anything? Or is it the obligation of the inhabitants of the world to adjust to their environment in order to survive? Shout out to my man, James Sumler. So if the world is constantly changing around you and you're not adapting or you're not evolving, you can't say that the world is unjust. What you can say is that you had a good run. What you can say is that you had your time. What you can say is that you lost. We're going to talk about the situation in South Africa. All right. And we're going to talk about the situation in South Africa because as much as we have the whole Black Americans versus African things going on, there's one thing that we both share, that we're both the victims of white supremacy. We're also the victims of our own circumstance. And in order to improve the way that the world operates around you, the first thing that you need to do is understand the errors of your ways. If you want to be a better free throw shooter and you continue to have a flat shot, you can't get upset that you can't get your free throw percentage up. You have to acknowledge, I have an issue. I don't have an arc. I need to get an arc so I can get the ball to land in the hoop and have a lower probability of hitting the rim and bouncing back out. So then you develop your arc. Now you fixed your technique. Now that you fixed your technique, your shot is a little bit more accurate. Let me ask you guys a question. Have we fixed our technique when it comes to dealing with our arch nemesis in this world? If we have, give me a thumbs up. If we have not, give me a thumbs down. My question is, if you look at what goes on around the world and you look at what goes on in certain parts, in many parts of Africa, other than things that people like to joke around about, complexion, hairlines, is it really a different story? Or is it the same story? That's the question. What does that story look like? It's like Star Wars, right? It's like Matrix. Same story, different characters, right? Now, let me ask you guys a question. Why do you think that is? Why do you guys think that that is? Why is that? Anybody know? Do you guys think that it's a failure to adjust? Shout out to Kelly. What up with it? It's the same. It's the same. Now, I think that the reason why we have infighting between different groups of black people, different groups of melanated people, is because we have different worldviews. We see our situations different. Some may be more alert to certain things, some may be less alert to certain things, but it doesn't matter. If you have an infectious disease and that disease is killing you, you're going to treat your life a little bit different than somebody that has the same infectious disease but doesn't know that that disease is killing them. We know that we have an infectious disease and we know that it's killing us. I think we just might look at it a little bit different. But the problem with looking at something is that when you look at something, all you do is see it. It's still there. It hasn't changed. It's just on your radar. What matters is if you do something about what you detect on your radar. We talked about learning curves. Who knows what a learning curve is? If you guys know what a learning curve is, type it into the chat. And how do you apply a learning curve? A learning curve is process adjustment. A learning curve is something that takes place before adaptation and evolution. A learning curve means that as you're exposed to certain things, certain elements, certain systems, you begin to develop innovative and effective ways of dealing with those things. A lot of times when you guys hear me talk, I'll say the learning curve is flatlined. Now, am I saying the learning curve is flatlined to be disparaging? No, because I don't do that. I'm not one of those content creators that's going to sit up there and just bang my chest and yell into a microphone and call people stupid. Unless, I'm roasting somebody. But I'm not going to call an entire group stupid. Let me ask you guys this. If you're playing basketball and you're under the impression that you're not allowed to travel, you're under the impression that you're not allowed to foul people, but the team that you're playing against has some inside information. They know that the referee's not going to call fouls, and they know the referee's not going to call travels, and they foul you every time you get the ball, and they get their biggest player on the court to travel down court and dunk every single time. You're going to ask yourself why you keep losing. You're also going to ask yourself, well, how come they don't call fouls on the other team? Have you ever asked yourself that question as you navigate the world? How come they don't call fouls on the other team? How come they don't call travel on the other team? Man, it seems like, you know, maybe if I had got a call here and a call there, I might have actually won the game. What if somebody didn't tell you that the referees were on the other team? But then what if you went on the court and you actually knew that? You're still at a severe disadvantage, but the game changer is that you know. Has anybody ever dealt with a situation like that? It should sound familiar because we deal with a situation like that every day, regardless where in the world we are. The fact that we deal with that every day, I wouldn't even say we deal with it. I'd say we cope with it because dealing with it means that you actually take an active method. You actually take an active process to try to stop whatever it is that's causing the problems. Have we done that? Have we stopped what's actually causing the problems? Do you guys remember that town that was majority black where the comptroller took over or at least attempted to take over? How does that happen? How do black children get bullied at a pool in a town that's majority black? How do so many people get shot up by white police officers in towns that are majority black? Why are black people walking around everywhere with the fear of God that racism will occur? That's my question for everybody. I'm going to ask you guys this. Do you guys think that we subconsciously or consciously know that we allow it? Now, you might say, well, we don't have power to not allow it. Maybe. That's debatable. But what's not debatable is that we can take certain methods to deter certain things from happening. Now, my question is every time one of these situations comes up, do we take those methods? In many cases, we don't. Shout out to DSA. What up with it? I'm going to show you guys a situation. Shout out to my man Grind and Motivate, KO Kid Fit, if he's in here. How many people heard about this? Black Ohio mother seeks justice after 13-year-old son is fatally shot by white man. Here we are. Somebody spin the records. DJ Blacklight on the ones and twos. Life on repeat. What's going to happen? All right. A man just shot and killed a kid. React. So now here it says a mother wants to know why charges were dropped just a week after a white suspect allegedly shot and killed her black son. If you want to know the answer to that question, you're already way behind. Shout out to Kid Gravity Beyond. What up with it? If you need to ask yourself the answer to that question, you're already lost. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to be mean because, no parent should ever have to bury their child. But we need to live in reality. We need to live in reality. We need to stop playing silly games and stop saying silly things and stop walking around like we're on Mars when we're on Earth. We're on Earth. There's no person, no black person in the world that should wonder why this happened. I mean, have you ever talked to the older generation in your family? Have you ever picked up a book? Have you ever turned on the television? It's because the world is rigged for everyone else and rigged against us. And until we change it or until we throw a monkey wrench in it, that's how it's always going to be. So there's no need to ask that question. Shout out to Shatera. What up with it, Shatera? There's no need to ask that question. We all know why. Let me ask you guys, why? And on October 12th, 36-year-old Craig A. Butler Sr. faced murder charges for killing Sinze Reed in Columbus, Ohio. According to the Columbus Dispatch, Franklin County prosecutors dismissed the case in municipal court the following week on October 9th. There has been a claim of self-defense, Keith O'Connor, a local homicide detective, said when the prosecutors dismissed this case. Now, let me ask you guys a question. How many times have black people been able to use the self-defense and get off? So he's claiming the castle doctrine. Megan Reed, the mother of the victim, continues to seek justice. Now, you're already messing up if you're trying to seek justice through an injustice system. You're already messing up. So she's messed up twice already. She's asked silly questions and she's trying to ice skate uphill. When you ask silly questions, you don't learn lessons. When you ice skate uphill, you go nowhere. Here's the question: is the world correct? When you give positive reinforcement, behavior continues. So as we allow people to destroy our family and we allow their families to continue to function, that is positive reinforcement. Operant conditioning. We're conditioning the entire world to use us as their punching bag. And as you can see, that's what the world does. That's how the world responds. The world says we can do whatever we want to, and we don't have to worry about it. People need to start having to worry about it. Until people start having to worry about it, everything is how it should be. If you never check a bully, what ends up happening? If a woman's in a domestic violence situation and she doesn't get out of that situation, what usually tends to happen? As things progress, things get worse. Have we told the world, back up off us? I don't think we have. Because if we had, then people would back up off us. So now here it says Megan Reed, the mother of the victim, continues to seek justice. Yesterday, December 29th, she spoke to the North Carolina Beat. So again, third mistake. We don't know why this happened. We're going to seek justice through an injustice system. Then we're going to talk to a white media agency. Mistakes around the board. They check this to make sure that this behavior continues. And as long as this behavior continues, you don't realize it, but you're fighting your way out of a spider web. And if you're fighting your way out of a spider web, you're not getting anywhere. And you not getting anywhere is exactly what's supposed to happen. And if that's what's supposed to happen, you look at all the indicators in the statistics, got to ask yourself, is the world correct? Yeah. Facts. Yeah, I agree. Men would have to say, back up off us. Definitively. Yeah. Yeah. The expectation of a woman to say back up off us is absurd. If I was walking down the street with my girlfriend and somebody attacked us, I would not expect her to be some Marvel superhero and save me. That's no, not how that works. If I'm taking my daughter to a function and somebody attempts to attack us, I don't expect my daughter to break out some black belt karate moves and save me. You know what I'm saying? So now, again, we already got 3 mistakes: seeking justice in an injustice system, asking the question, why did this happen? And then you want to tell your story, so you go to the white media. Megan wants to know what reason is plausible for him to walk free. She knows what reason. Again, we're asking another silly question. There doesn't have to be a reason. Like Professor Black Truth always says, quote unquote, genetic immunity from law. Yeah, that's facts. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, I agree. You know what I'm saying? It has been almost 3 months and I haven't spoken to anybody about this investigation. Well, I mean, I don't know if you ever heard about Trayvon Martin, or not Trayvon Martin, but Tamir Rice, but that's kind of what happened to him. But see, we're living in a reality. We're living in a false reality. We're living in a dream world. Yeah, that's absolute facts. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, absolute facts. I don't disagree with that at all. That's why I call myself a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Because I express my ideas on YouTube. Not only do I express my ideas on YouTube, in most cases, I reference white media. Oh, is that because that's my preference? No, that's because I don't have anything else to reference. When I can reference black media and black information, I do. I do it as often as I can. But in some cases, you just can't. And the reason why you just can't is because it's non-existent. And the reason why it's non-existent, the responsibility lies on us to make it existent. So now here it says, I haven't even spoken to the detective. They are all on his side. Craig is a white man and the detective is a white man too, Megan continued. So again, you can sit there and say that, but then you turn around and say you don't understand the reason. So this is the guy that this white guy said was threatening his life, this little 13-year-old baby. He's dead. No. But you're still right though. It doesn't matter. I didn't take it as disparaging. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker. But even if it was disparaging, you're right. I mean, it's the facts. You know what I'm saying? So here's an article here from Dispatch, and it says what we know about the killing of 13-year-old Sensei Reed. Sensei Reed was shot and killed in October at a Hilltop apartment complex. Online and local activists are calling for more action. So we'll look into this. I'm gonna try to hurry this up because I got another stream that I wanted to do. Shout out to my man James Hudson, but actually I might mess around and stay on this. We'll see. You guys let me know. So now here it says the mother said her son's fatal shooting occurred after a conversation in their kitchen. After their talk, Sensei's mother thought her son returned to his room. That's when a neighbor knocked on her door, informing her that her son had been shot. I didn't even know he had gone outside until the knock at my door telling me he had been shot, she explained. So now we got to ask why? How did that happen? You know what I'm saying? After discovering the news, she went to the scene and found her son lying in blood from gunshot wounds. She mentioned that a witness said Butler Sr. committed the crime. Soon as I got over there, everyone was like, Craig did this, Megan recalled. According to court documents obtained by the dispatch, a witness told police that they saw Butler get out of a red truck, shoot Reed numerous times, get back in the vehicle, and drive off the scene. So again, it's always a truck, isn't it? He got out of his truck, right? That means that he went towards the threat, which means that it wasn't self-defense. At least according to the information here. So now here it says the next day, authorities arrested Butler. In October, prosecuting attorney Gary Tack said that the 13-year-old's death was still being investigated and that these kinds of cases don't regularly make it to a grand jury. Not every case initiated in municipal court is presented to the grand jury. In the press release, this particular case is still under review for possible presentation to the grand jury, and unfortunately, I cannot advise you when the case will be presented, the attorney's statement continued. Yesterday, the victim's sister, Michaela Nichols, discussed the situation. She told dispatch, a grown man killed a child and nobody cares. We want to know why he's free. We know why he's free. Let me ask you a question. How many times do you see this happen to anybody else's kids, any other group of people? Do you see this happen to Asian kids? Do you see this happen to white kids? In certain areas, this does happen to Latino kids, but not nearly at the rate that it happens to black kids. It said here that he got out of the car and shot. He got out of his vehicle and shot. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and please make sure you guys share this video out on your social media. All right. So now here's my question. You would think that they'd be talking about this case, right? But you're not really hearing too much about it. We already know what everybody's going to say. The white guy did nothing wrong because white people never do anything wrong ever, and that the black kid deserved to die because when he was 2 years old, he walked out the store with some bubble gum. We already know. Yep, I remember that. I did a video about that too. He only got $10,000 bail. He shot that little, I think he was 6-year-old boy in the arm in Michigan. Appreciate it, Sean. So now, this is an article from the Columbus Dispatch, and it says what we know about the killing of 13-year-old Sensei Reed. All right. In the past few days, Columbus community members and online activists have been raising concerns about the handling of a homicide of a 13-year-old boy, questioning the actions of Columbus police and the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. Now, it's very important to pay very close attention to the interaction between the police and the prosecutor, because if you guys remember, when it came to Ahmaud Arbery, Jackie Johnson was a former employer of the McMichaels. And she tried to hide that. And she also tried to do exactly what ended up happening here. That's not something that we can ignore. Another thing that we can't ignore is the behavior patterns of these people. As much as people would like us to ignore it, it doesn't matter what people would like. That's the whole point of embracing villainy, not being sensitive to what other people like. The only thing that people should be concerned about is their well-being, their family's well-being, their survival, and their way of making sure that they live to inhale the next breath. That's it. You don't owe anybody else anything. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable somebody is. If somebody else's comfort is killing you, you have every right to take that comfort away. Period. That's just how it is. Once people start embracing that and start understanding that and stop caring, then it'll be time to get it on. You already know, James. You already know, bro. So now here it says Sensei Reed, who is 13, was shot and killed on October 12th at the Wedgwood Apartments in Hilltop. Krieg Butler, who is 36, was arrested within 48 hours of Reed's death and charged with murder. However, those charges were dismissed a few days later and have not been refiled. Online postings from local and national activists increased the spotlight on this case in recent days, with some making claims about Butler's alleged affiliation with hate groups, calling for federal investigations of the case and asking questions about the investigation more than 2 months after Reed's death. Now, why is it that when these investigations come out, in most cases, it always shows that there's some affiliation, or the guy is friends with the police, or he knows the DA, or he knows a councilman, or this, that, and the other. He's a Proud Boy. He's an Oath Keeper. He's a KKK member. That seems to always happen. Just like when it comes to these overly aggressive cops, what seems to happen is that they have a bad service record and that they were fired from somewhere else. But now, when it comes to the police, the federal government has said that they're supposed to be tightening hiring policies at the local and federal level of law enforcement for decades. Now, here's the question. Have they? No, because they're still hiring killer cops, and killer cops are still killing people. Shout out to my man Jay. What up with it, bro? So now here it says, here's what we know about the case and the investigation. Who was Sensei Reed? Columbus police were called at about 5:45 p.m. October 12th to the Wedgwood apartment complex in Hilltop on a report of a shooting. According to court records, an eyewitness, look at this, according to court records, an eyewitness saw Butler exit a red truck and fire multiple times at Reed. Again, what we have here, what this information is saying is that we got an eyewitness suspect. We got an eyewitness testimony. We got an eyewitness testimony. You know what I'm saying? Butler then entered his vehicle and fled the scene, according to court records. Officer responding to a report of a shooting found Reed with gunshot injuries and provided medical aid until paramedics arrived. And if you pay very close attention to how police provide medical aid, in most cases, you probably end up like Elijah McClain. Shout out to Tone. What up with it, bro? I want medical personnel administering medical help, not police. For some reason, the blue collar guys seem to kill you. Again, this is pattern recognition. Certain things that you will versus won't allow people to do. Establishing boundaries, understanding the necessity and right to self-defense and the right to live and be alive and live unbothered and in peace. And embracing the brutality of what you might have to do in order to sustain your survival. Because sometimes you just might have to be brutal. There's an old saying, and it goes, most wars happen because somebody wanted peace. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Reed was rushed in life-threatening condition to Ohio Health Doctors Hospital, where he died at 6:26 p.m. In his obituary, family members remembered Reed, who went by Zay, as a boy who loved music, video games, and spending time with his friends. Reed attended KIPP Columbus, a charter school on the northeast side. Another resident of Wedgwood Apartments, Craig A. Butler, was initially charged with Reed's homicide and held on $1 million bond, but charges were later dropped pending the investigation. So he didn't even have to make bail. He didn't even have to make bond. Now, this is what everybody wants to know. Why were charges dismissed against Craig Butler? Super facts, James. Prosecutors filed a motion. Again, remember Professor Black Truth said it's always the prosecutors who do it? Prosecutors, the people who are supposed to be putting him in jail, or the people who were supposed to be finding him innocent or guilty, prosecutors. The prosecutors, his defense didn't have to lift a muscle because the prosecutors filed a motion to dismiss the case in Franklin County Municipal Court after Butler's arrest. At the time, prosecutors said Butler alleged that he fired shots at Reed in self-defense, and that's all it took. Hey, I was defending myself. Hey, I feared for my life. You see, who would fear that kid? You serious? And it's not like he's Peyton Gendron. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's a Aiden Fauci. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's Ethan Crumley. All of whom were taken alive, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Because the autopsy report had not been completed, there was no forensic evidence about the positioning of Reed's wounds to prove or disprove Butler's claims. There is no statute of limitation for filing a murder charge, and charges could be refiled at a later date. The Franklin County Prosecutor's Office said Thursday it has no additional comment on the case at this time, but the case is ongoing. Well, if the case is ongoing, then why'd they dismiss him? Why'd they dismiss it? What that means is that it's going to be held in investigation and put in a file somewhere and not investigated. That's what ongoing means. Because let me ask you guys a question. The reason that was given in this article, was that a reason to drop everything? No more request of evidence or anything? They had an eyewitness testimony, so it doesn't matter what the coroner report said. It said that the coroner report was inconclusive. Okay, that's fine. But we have an eyewitness testimony. So now who knows whether the eyewitness is accurate or not, right? The eyewitness might not be right, but they didn't even cross-examine the eyewitness. They just said, well, you said it was self-defense, it's self-defense. I'm white and I say so. Say so it is. How did Sensei Reed die? Information surrounding Reed's injuries has been posted online. However, the official autopsy report from the Franklin County Coroner's Office has not been released. The Coroner's Office says reports take an average of 6 months to complete. The dispatch has filed a request to review the report when it becomes available. Until the autopsy report is completed, it is not known how many times Reed was shot and where on his body. Why wasn't Butler charged for illegally having a firearm? Butler has a prior conviction from 2019 for misdemeanor domestic violence in Franklin County Municipal Court. So now this guy has a history of violence. But it was self-defense, because I said so. Say so it is. Federal law bars people with domestic violence from convictions from carrying firearms, putting them under what is commonly called disability. But yet and still, this guy had one, and they said, hey, whatever. you know, business as usual. Ohio law does not have a prohibition against people with misdemeanor convictions for domestic violence from carrying firearms. Ohio law prohibits convicted felons from having firearms in their possession. Because Butler's convictions would bar him from having a gun only under federal law, Franklin County prosecutors cannot file that charge against him. So, because state law supersedes federal law, they're not able to use that. Now, I guarantee you, had this been a black person who had killed a white kid, they would find a way around that. Remember, the referees are on the other team. Remember, they're allowed to travel. Remember, they're allowed to foul. Remember, you know that. This kid's mom act like she didn't. No charges have been filed in federal court as of Thursday afternoon. So there's that. The option is there, but they're not. And of course, they're not filed because the prosecution who would be filing the charges is the one who dismissed them. Okay? Make sure you guys follow me here. So now here it's saying, what are community leaders and activists saying? I guarantee you all the wrong shit. I guarantee you none of them are saying world domination is the only solution. I guarantee you none of them say when people act like they don't understand how to treat other people like humans, you have to take away the option for them to be able to treat you any kind of way. I guarantee you nobody is telling them we operantly condition people to allow them to hurt us. So in order for us to not be harmed, we have to put the fear of what people are doing to us back into them. I guarantee you nobody said that. And if they didn't say any of that, then they didn't say any of the right shit. Because that's the only shit that's going to make a change. Before you point that gun at somebody else's child, you better think about if you want to come home to yours breathing. Then maybe that'll make you think twice and put that shit back in the holster because of those nice graduation presents or that nice marriage that you want to attend. Since it just doesn't matter that you kill ours. On Thursday, U.S. Representative Joyce Beatty tweeted about Reed's killing, saying that we must protect our children. Now, let me ask you guys something. How comfortable would you be if someone was aiming a gun at you and they said, don't worry, I'll tweet something? Would you feel confident that you'd survive that situation? Or would you think, I hope I paid my last life insurance premium? Who cares about a tweet? Who gives a shit? Last time I checked, tweets weren't made out of Teflon and they weren't deflecting bullets. Last time I checked. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the last time I checked. Followed by a hashtag calling for justice in the case. Let me ask you guys a question. I mean, we've been calling for justice since, I don't know, the 1800s. Guess what? Even before the phone was invented, nobody picking up the damn phone. So keep calling. Busy signal. Keep calling. You have dialed the wrong number. Ain't nobody picking up the call for justice. Seems like the phone's been disconnected for quite a long time. Now, whose job is it to recognize that? You gonna keep sitting there dialing the same number? You're gonna spend 24, 48, 72 hours dialing the same number? Nobody on the other end of the line waiting for the phone to pick up? Or you gonna try something else? Hashtags. You know what's messed up about hashtags? In most cases, hashtags are digital headstones. Because when it comes to hashtags, most time the person that's hashtag already got a damn toe tag. So it's not saving anybody. So who cares about a hashtag? This is supposed to be activism, but it's activating what? What it is activating operant conditioning, positive reinforcement. Because guess what? All you got to do is worry about a couple words on the internet and you're free to kill somebody else. You're free to harm somebody else's kid. It seems like our activism activates more degenerate behavior because it's just so comforting. You get a nice warm hashtag. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Torian Rain. What up with it, bro? You get a nice warm hashtag, you know. You get a nice picket sign. And guess what? None of that shit's deflecting bullets. None of that shit's infiltrating the court, getting corrupt prosecutors and judges out. It's not doing shit. All these people that want to take credit for this activism and claiming that this activism this is holding the community together and these people are doing this, that, and the other. It's how is it doing anything? The people that you're allegedly doing the activism for are dead. If the shit was effective, then would nobody be dead? That shit would be deterring people getting killed. People would not continuously be getting killed. We wouldn't have these same stories all the damn time. Digital Underground, all around the world, the same song. Oh, and we about to go all the way around the world too. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says members of the local activist community plan to hold a community press conference Sunday at the Wedgwood Apartments. Now here's my question. Where's the ADL to talk about quote unquote racism and anti-Semitism? You know, since they're the same thing and we quote unquote stand hand in hand. And this guy's name is Krieg, which sounds like Blitzkrieg. So hey, maybe he's German. Don't hold your breath waiting. Don't hold your breath waiting, because this is what standing hand in hand with that ADL community looks like. Somebody's kid dead and Greenblatt worried about getting a extortion off of Whoopi Goldberg. That's what this shit looks like. Facts, RG Titan. If you guys agree with RG Titan, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. The world is correct until we start taking actions to undo it. Facts. Yeah, I agree, T-Bird. You know what I'm saying? So this is him. This is the guy this is the threat. This is the guy that they were scared of. This little kid right here, 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? Baby face. Users on Twitter have taken notice of the fatal shooting in recent days, with many users sharing details and commentary on Reed, some of which disseminates information that has not been released publicly, including circumstances of Reed's death. Now, this is shout out to my man KO Kid Fit. This is the tweet right here that KO Kid Fit sent me. My man Grind and Motivate. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me ask you this. Speaking of the ADL, right? I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Torian Rain. I think it was Torian Rain and Moxie approved, if I'm not mistaken. I think both of them did a video on a elderly woman who was arrested for being an alleged Nazi. I don't know if you guys remember Ivan the Terrible, John Demjanjuk. There's something else that went down in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? But he was like an old elderly man that they said was an alleged terrorist, Nazi terrorist, SS military official or something. They got him, right? So what they're doing is, quote unquote, they're eradicating, quote unquote, anti-Semitism at the roots of the National Socialist Party in Germany, right? Racism will always exist. Always. Do you see how they're still going around hunting down Nazis? There's no effort anywhere to go and hunt down Adosos and original white American perpetrators of racism. They protected the lady who got what's his name? Damn, why can't I think of his name? Emmett Till killed. The United States was behind the apartheid. They helped them. They agreed with it. The United States is currently funding a Nazi battalion in Ukraine. Anytime Adosos find out they're Adosos, guess what? They try to hide it. They get the option to hide it, and then nobody goes after them. Our president is a descendant of a slave owner. He's an Adoso, and so is Ben Affleck. And nobody's hunting them down for their association with the American legacy of racism, which means that it's baked in to the culture here in the United States. It's normalized. This is just how it is. The Confederate flag equals quote unquote state rights. Well, I guarantee you, if Hitler had won the war, National Socialism would have just been a sign, a swastika would have just been a sign of German pride. It's just a sign of German pride. You know what I'm saying? I got my blonde hair, I got my blue eyes, and I got my Schwazi. I'm just showing my dedication to the Deutschland. You know, just like Southern pride, just like Southern heritage. I'm just showing my love to the plantation. Shout out Antebellum, right? There's been no Adoso strike force. The element of racism and white supremacy in this country that has been allowed to fester has never actively been hunted down and eradicated. What that means is that the government, as well as the population in this country, support it because they know that it's one of the number one ways of funding the corrupt tax-based system here. What that's also telling us as Americans, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slaves, Native Black Americans, feral Black Americans like your boy right here, is that the United States cares more about what happened to white people in other countries than they care about what they did here in the United States. Remember, never forget 9/11. Don't be like George Santos. Don't forget when your mama died. But go ahead and forget Jim Crow. Go ahead and forget eugenics. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and forget that. Shout out to my man DJ Elmo. What up with it, bro? Go ahead and forget it. It wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? The Irish was slaves. Remember? You know what's funny? The Irish was police too. Want to talk about that? You remember on Moxie Approved stream when he played that clip with that particular guy from the dim folks community, and he said they even had pictures of us with funny noses and pictures of us with different shaped heads. Shout out to the Irish people. Yeah, they did that to the Irish too. See that? They did that to the Irish people too. You know what I'm saying? We can do that. They did that to the Irish people too. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says some users on Twitter, including Tariq Nasheed. So now here they don't say, reparations advocate, right? They don't say author of Foundational Black American. entrepreneur and author of, the Hidden Colors series. They don't say any of that. They reduce Tariq Nasheed the same way they reduce Kanye West, controversial commentator and film producer. He's done nothing else, right? That's all he's done, has been a controversial commentator and film producer. He's not an author. You know what I'm saying? Right? Who says he's controversial? White people? Non-FBA people? People that talk shit and Tariq roasts them until they run to the car crying? That's who says that he's controversial? You know what I think is controversial? I think it's controversial to get out your truck and shoot a 13-year-old black kid. I think that's really controversial. That's what I think. But apparently, Tariq Nasheed is more controversial than that because they done already acquitted this motherfucker. They done already dismissed the case. So we're already going to put a spin on what Tariq says. Beware, because he's controversial. Beware. Brace yourself now. Hold on tight. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that the roll cage is in position. Make sure you put the safety belt on. Make sure that your headgear is on and the chin strap is fastened. It's about to get controversial. On October 12th in Columbus, Ohio, a suspected white supremacist named Krieg Butler Sr. stopped his truck, got out, and shot 13-year-old black child Sinze Reed in the back multiple times, killing him. For reasons unknown, the prosecutor dropped charges against the murder suspect. I mean, as far as being controversial goes, it sounds to me like he literally copied and pasted this from the Columbus Dispatch. So if we're calling Tariq Nasheed somebody who's controversial, I mean, if his tweet is taken from the context of what you wrote, then your article must be controversial. AV Promotions, you wow. AV Promotions said FBA are the kings of roasting, hands down. That's a real fact though. That's a real. I think it's a roast gene. You know what I'm saying? I think motherfuckers have a roast gene for real, for real. that might be some real shit. We have to do some tests. You know what I'm saying? I had to do some tests and find out, but I think you might be onto something, bro. So yeah, this guy right here, this guy that looked like he just went down a chimney somewhere, was scared for his life from this little baby right here. Because I mean, black people are just savage and feral and have superhuman strength. So I mean, a child could lift up a truck and just shake him out like he was shaking a salt shaker. So I mean, he feared for his life. He feared for his life. Now you guys might ask, we just spent an hour talking about that, but you got something else on the thumbnail. Well, I don't know if you guys watch Torian Rain's YouTube channel, but you guys should. But he's always warning people how long my live streams are. You know what I'm saying? And plus, I'm a Scorpio. I like foreplay. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with this picture here? Trio attacks black teens at pool they consider, quote unquote, whites only. Well, that's why we did an hour on that other video or on that other article, because this is pretty short. We can wrap this up pretty easy, right? We figured out the problem here. There were 3 black teens at a pool that people considered white only. Let me ask you guys a question. Why are rogue groups of whites in South Africa, a country that's primarily black and allegedly run by black people, setting up little white supremacist enclaves all over the place? Is something not wrong with that picture? What's wrong with that picture? Those people at that pool should fear for their life giving people the wrong eye contact. But instead, they got the balls to put their hands on somebody's kids. What is that a sign of? What does that show? Who should get the critique for that? How do we examine that? How do we break this down objectively? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not shared the video out, please make sure you share the video out. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell. Is this what Akon was talking about when he said performing different? Because this is quite a different kind of performance. Not one that I really have seen, but okay. There's a lot of things to question here. The first thing is we have to question the power dynamic in this country. The second thing that we have to question is why are these kids here? There's subtle segregation now, right? Some places it's worse, some places it's better. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't like going to no weird ass shit like this. I gotta know you real good, and possibly have a weapon. Why are you going to a pool that's quote unquote considered all white? Now, Philip Scott did a video, right, a long time ago. And on this video, he had this white lady from South Africa who had called in, and she was talking about, she didn't like the apartheid. She didn't like the ongoing legacy of the racism that was going on there. And I guess she was working with activist groups, you know, to try to dismantle it. Here's the problem. She ain't the one that threw the party. It wasn't her damn pool. Why are you at this pool? This is that shit that I be asking people about Karens and shit. See, this is that dumb shit. This is that civil rights stupid shit. See, people say, oh, we don't need to integrate. Okay, like I could see where people come with that talking point. Me personally, if people and humans were not animals the way we want to think of ourselves as not being animals, we'd be able to live together and make a better society. But what's been proven, what the evidence shows, is that that's not possible on a collective basis. On an individual basis, in some cases, people can work together fine. Why do I say that? I say that because I don't understand the need. If somebody says, hey, we don't like your kind around here, I don't understand the need to go there. This isn't a turf war. This isn't the blood and the Crips where you fighting over turf so that you can do business. I don't understand how living in South Africa for so long and under the apartheid, people haven't warned their children about this kind of thing. They got these white groups, biker gangs, you know what I'm saying? Hells Angels and outlaws, right? Hell's Angels don't ride in outlaw territory. Outlaws don't ride in Hell's Angel territory. It's the same thing with the Bloods and Crips. Crips don't bang where the Bloods are. Bloods don't bang where the Crips are, unless some market is drying up or something like that, and somebody got to make some more money somehow. Then they bang it. That's not what was going on here. I don't understand that. So the reason I made the comment about the lady that was on Phil Scott's video is to say exactly what I said. This wasn't her swimming party. You mean to tell me that out of all these years living in apartheid Africa, you can't tell the difference between a person like her and a person like these? I got to ask the question about the parents. Is your parent like the parent of that child in Columbus who, quote unquote, didn't know why this happened? We got areas around us that have, quote unquote, different population matrix. I mean, I could go to places in those areas, but I don't want to. I like where I'm at. See, like a lot of times that civil rights era shit, people are stupid. How many times you heard somebody say, I'm going to the other side of town to go to the store because it ain't no black people there? That's a dumb reason to go to a store, because there's no black people there. That's a really stupid reason. So then what happens is you take that approach and you go over there, and then some Karen gets in your face. Some cop pulls you over and racial profiles you and deletes you. You're talking about racism, but walking right into it. I went to an all-white pool and got dealt and had to deal with racism. Duh. For one, people need to have that situational awareness. For two, why aren't the parents teaching you this shit? Shout out to Lala. What up with it? For three, hook up a damn water hose and a slip and slide and have your own party. I don't understand this. This is like the civil rights generation that just like, I want to fight to go to the same school as you. Man, I don't care about your school. Your school is dumb and it teaches false information. I'll do my own research. Once I do my own research, I'll write it down and document it. And then once I document it, I'll get apprentices and teach my apprentices. And then my apprentices will set up their own institutions that will be better than yours. Here go another question. Why ain't Akon build him a pool? Instead of having that big ass rock sitting in the middle of the desert, why ain't Akon build him a pool? It's all kinds of questions that I got about this. So we're gonna dive into this. And when we dive into it, I guarantee you ain't nobody coming at us. 3 white men were arrested after attacking 2 black teenagers at a pool in South Africa, police said. The attack occurred after the teens tried to swim in a pool the men considered whites only. In the United States, when white people were the majority, white people had white only areas. Why in a black run area, a black run country, why are white people setting up white only enclaves? Does that make any damn sense? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys drop some radiation emoji and show some love to my man Torian Rain. And also make sure you guys go follow his channel. Many of them think dealing with racism and white supremacy is an Akata thing. Yeah, they really do. Nigga, you just make excuses. You just make excuses, nigga. See, we come here and thrive. We come here and become doctor. We come here and become surgeon. Your kids go to the pool and get into a fight, possibly endangering their life with some grown damn men. You know what I'm saying? The assault took place on Sunday, December 25th. So much for that. Shout out to Professor Black Truth for doing that video about Christmas or about church attendance going down. One reason why church attendance is going down in South Africa is because white men want to be out attacking black children on Christmas. At Mazoport Holiday Resort in Bloemfontein, the South African Police Service said in a December 26th statement, part of the incident was captured on a video. My brothers were attacked by these grown men because they are apparently not allowed in the pool as it's reserved for white people here. I don't know, kind of like the country of Ukraine, but guess who was over there getting bullied around and pushed all over the place? Who was in Ukraine getting pushed all off of trains and bullied around and drug around all over the place? Here we go. DJ Blacklight on the ones and twos, round and round, life on repeat. Was that the only pool in the area? Why would you go there? I don't understand that. Why does that shit still stand? How come the country's government didn't tear that shit down? Tear that shit down. Black Wall Street, that pool. Wilmington, North Carolina, that pool. What's wrong with the government? They must not have learned that the world is correct. When you let these people populate in these little enclaves, you find out that you start getting beat up and they take your shit. Still haven't figured that out yet, huh? But we smarter, nigga. We smarter, nigga. Okay. This is what smarter looks like. Allowing your kids to be hunted down like a bloody steak in a pool of piranhas. Literally. Because they literally were at a pool. You know what I'm saying? This 31-second clip shows multiple white men grab, hit, and push, and choke two black teenage boys. Teenage boys. These are men. Just like it was a man that shot that little boy, that little 13-year-old. A man chokes one of the teens. Look at this. A man chokes one of the teens for several seconds before losing his grip in a commotion of people. Another thing that the man did was pushed one of the kids into the water. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't shared the video out, please make sure you guys share the video out. Another man casually smoking a cigarette grabs the same teen's hair and pulls on it. They have an obsession with our hair, wanting to cut off dreadlocks and things. Back in the slavery days, making black women wear those hair wraps. Always want to touch some damn body's hair. We don't need to touch theirs because they leave it all over the place. You know what I'm saying? They want to touch ours, though. Encourage us to do strange things with it. You know what I'm saying? Toward the end of the video, another man grabs the other teen in a headlock and pulls him into the pool like a real man does. The man is seen holding the teen's head underwater when the video ends. These people do not care about your children. They're going to age restrict this video and probably demonetize it because I'm going to show the video. You know what I'm saying? The men were trying to prevent the black teens from swimming in a whites-only pool. News 24, a South African news outlet, reported. After what happened in South Africa, if black people haven't made white people scared to death to even think a thought of racism, got to sit back. You got to look at these circumstances, and you got to ask yourself that nasty question. Shout out to Val Williams. What up with it, Val? Is the world correct? And if you ask me, this story is just more proof that the world is correct. Because what this shows is that the operant conditioning and the positive reinforcement of no consequences has continued to encourage this kind of degeneracy and perpetuate this culture to the point to where white people have exported white supremacy as the number one global product of Europe and the United States. Yeah, I remember that. That shit had went viral. Yeah, I remember that for sure. So now here it says the boys were 18 years old and 13 years old, the South African police service said. The attack was traumatic. One of the kings, one of the kings, Gokong Nikiti, told News 24 in an interview. All right, so we might check this interview out. If you guys want to watch that interview, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, let's check out this interview. Let me see. Hold on real quick. Let's check out this interview. Let's see what he has to say here.
I feel like besides the physical trauma, which is already a lot in itself, but the emotional and the psychological aspect of it is probably weighing him much more than anyone else.
That's exactly the point. That's the point of these attacks. Young man, I'm sorry that you had to learn this the hard way, but you did learn it. The psychological idea is to have you constantly fearful, believing that everywhere you go, anywhere you go, just because of the color of your skin, that you will always be treated like that. And white people have exported that business of that privilege global, worldwide. It's a thing. Asians are doing it. Latinos are doing it. Muslims are doing it. In the UK, the black people in the UK have the same issue with Muslims and Arabs that we have here with Latinos and Asians. It's no different. All around the world, the same song. Digital Underground was telling y'all about this way back in the day. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys show some love for Val Williams with the $10 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure you guys throw some radiation emojis in the chat for Happy New Year to you and the Blacklight Revelations family in the chat. Facts. Yeah, Happy New Year. It's New Year's Eve, man. I hope y'all kick it, turn up, have a good time. You know what I'm saying? I'll be turning up and kicking it if I ain't have to work tonight. Who knows? I might have to step up out of work and do it real quick and then come back. You know what I'm saying? You know? This is the whole point of this. Psychological. To encapsulate your mind and make you think that this is the result any and everywhere you go. When actually in that country, for doing that to people, that's exactly how those people should feel. There should never be anybody that feels bold enough to do that in an all-black country to black children. No examples have been made. Which means to me that they care more about perception and acceptance than they care about their own survival, than they care about their own sustenance. And if you care more about appearances than you care about your survival, I guess you'll just look pretty until you disappear. Then you won't have to worry about it anymore.
Of it is probably weighing him much more than anyone else.
That's terrible. And don't get it twisted. The reason why they showed that is to re-traumatize people. To have people at home telling their kids, oh, you better be careful now. You better be careful now. Because if you go to the wrong area, this could happen now. Nah. No. I'm going to show you how to use this Bowie knife. I'm going to show you the quickest access place to holster your gun. I'm going to show you some impact pressure points. I'm going to show you exactly where to aim a punch, where to knock somebody's eyesight out for a quick minute so you can light their ass up and get away. That's what I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you, oh, you better watch where you go now. You better watch out. You better not shout. No. I'm going to show you how to make an example. I'm going to show you how to make an example that's so costly. People will really think twice about violating. That's what people need to be showing their children. That's what white people say. Anytime you see a childhood picture of Kyle Rittenhouse, how many retweets does it have? This is a young man who learned how to defend himself. Now, if those kids had some COVID sanitation products, and as soon as they started putting their hands on him, they happened to squirt rubbing alcohol in his face and then light it on fire. That's just a young man that knows how to take care of himself. That's just a young man that knows how to handle the environment. You see how intelligent he is? He's so smart. He paid attention in chemistry. He knows that alcohol is a flammable substance, and he was doing his thing by being COVID prepared. And in that situation of danger, he took that rubbing alcohol out of his pocket, threw it in that guy's eyes, and then lit his hair on fire. He defended himself because defense is legal. You have the right to do it. We have the right to live. And that was an adult attacking a child. Man, I bet you everybody would have remembered what that smelled like. Even after it healed up, I bet you everybody would have remembered what that looked like. And I bet you if he wanted the rest of his face melted off like that dude from Indiana Jones, he'll think twice before he goes to put his hands around somebody else's throat and then put his hand right back in his pocket where it needs to be. Oh, you better be careful now. Make sure you walk with your head down. Make sure you don't give none of these folks eye contact now. What happens if you don't handle a bully, y'all? Now, here's my thing, Tone. Tone says, I don't remember them teaching us about fearing them. And I could agree with that. But here's my question. What's been taught about dealing with the current situation that we live in? What's been taught about self-defense? You know what people have been taught, and you know what people have been applauded for teaching? Turn the other cheek. I got a better saying for you. Man, it's 2023. Insert the other clip. Load the other chamber. And the only time you need to turn the other cheek is if there's somebody coming at you to the left. That shit is dead. That's some of the worst possible advice that could ever be given. And that's one of the reasons why that advice comes right out of the Bible, followed by the meek shall inherit the earth. Look at the meek. How are the meek making out? How are the meek making out? This right here is one of those, if Black lives really mattered, Black people wouldn't abort their babies. You know what? You might have a point there. And you know what that point is? That point is that we're fighting off some genocide. Because let's see if you have any accountability burn protection on today. Who's responsible for the abortion initiative? Don't hold your breath now. Go ahead and say it. Make sure you say it all syllables clear. These people are pussies. If Kyle Rittenhouse can be encouraged to have an AR-15, me telling you to protect yourself if you're a minor and some Neanderthals attack you at a pool is not encouraging violence. It's actually encouraging life. Because I'm pro-life. Shout out to my man Crypto Key. See how I'm pro-life? Make sure you keep yourself alive. So now here it says, besides the physical trauma, which is already a lot in itself, but the emotional and psychological aspect of it is weighing in on me much more than anything else. And that's the exact purpose. That's the purpose. You know how people always say psychological pain hurts a lot more than physical pain? That's the point. He says, you murder baby animals 3 times a day. Get your life right. And a lot of you have sex with animals 3 times a day. I'd offer you the same advice. The men involved were evicted from the resort, according to a December 26 statement from Mazoport Resort, shared by the Department of Economics, Small Business Development, Tourism, and Environmental Affairs. DESTEA is a local government agency involved in investigating the incident because of the threat it poses to tourism, the agency said. The resort said it in the statement that it, quote unquote, does not permit racism. That's what they all say while being racist. You know what I'm saying? That's what they all say while being racist. You know what I'm saying? So now here, 3 men were arrested, because of the plight of the straight white male. How dare them not be able to exercise their First Amendment right to beat the shit out of or kill a black child, right? You know what I'm saying? Because if black lives really mattered, I guess there'd be no such thing as abortion and crimes of proximity, right? But I got to ask the same thing about white lives. If white lives matter, I really wish white men stopped deleting themselves and them families. But nobody's saying anything about it. So maybe as such a good Samaritan, it's time for a caring citizen to bring attention to that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? A 33-year-old and a 47-year-old are each facing a common assault charge and crimen injura charge. Eyewitness News reported. Crimen injura, which includes racist actions, is a crime defined under South African law as unlawfully, intentionally, and seriously impairing the dignity of another, according to U.S. legal. A 48-year-old is facing an attempted murder charge, common assault charge, and crimen injura charge, News 24 reported. He appeared in court on Thursday, December 29th, the outlet reported. All 3 men were released, 2 with a warning and 1 after posting bail. I don't pretend to be righteous. I tell people they need to embrace villainy and throw ethics and morality out of the window, because ethics and morality is nothing but a set of programs to keep you locked into stopping you from defending yourself. Ethics and morality is one of the best security systems that anybody ever set up. It's an auto regulation for issuing consequences. So no, I don't tell people to be righteous at all. I tell people to fight dirty, play dirty, and win. Period. Just like you do. You want to act like you're scared? We'll make sure you need to wear 3 sets of diapers. Make you shit all over yourself. If you act like you want to be scared, then you must want to be scared. So shit, let's scare them. Isn't that the reason why people go watch horror movies? Because they want to be scared? Fuck it. Let's scare the shit out these motherfuckers then. So now here it says the men will reappear in court on January 25th, the outlet reported. Bloemfontein is the province of Free State and about 255 miles southwest of Johannesburg. All right. Look at this. Jailer had cells unlocked for black inmates to be attacked, feds say. He's prison bound. Imagine that. Anybody hear about that? I mean, just look at this. Look at this shit. You know what I'm saying? These people literally have no impulse control. None. Whatsoever. Now, here's the question. How come they don't talk about this on the news? Facts, Tone. You got it. Facts. If we were righteous, we'd be hunting down the dosos and running people's families. Super facts. I might have to actually do a video on this. So as you guys can see, this is the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? They always doing it for the culture. Cool. It sounds like I'm the founding father or something too then. Sounds like I'm the founding father of something too then. Let me see. I'm illogical. Yeah, I would say the founding fathers of this country were illogical. Criminal. Yeah, they were criminal. Came over here and stole a bunch of shit and killed a bunch of people and hoping to spark unnecessary violence. Yeah, I mean, they started a bunch of wars, shot up and killed a bunch of Indians, shot up and killed a bunch of black people, and shot up and killed other white people. Cool. Yeah. At that pace, looks like I'm about to start another America. That's the best compliment that I've received all day. You want to meet me? You want to shake my hand? You want to look me in my eye? Oh man. I wonder how many times your grandmother held her purse on an elevator and never had a reason to be scared. You know what I'm saying? This is what people always wanted. You all have always wanted a reason to be terrified and had a spaz attack if you didn't get what you wanted. You're getting what you want today. You getting what you want today. So go get your Bible and sit in here and listen to this. And go get a sanitary wipe in case you have an accident. So now here it says white men charged in attack on black teens at South African swimming pool. These white men believe that this is their right. Anytime you hear about white men losing their right, First Amendment, freedom of expression, you see, this is an expression. Would you guys agree that having the freedom to enjoy the attack of a fresh black child, that's an expression? What does that express? What does that say? That's something that's a part of this culture because that's something that this culture has been doing for a very long time. What does that express? If I wear a jersey that says Cardinals, I'm expressing the fact that I appreciate that team, right? If I go to the gym and lift weights, I'm expressing the fact that I appreciate fitness, right? If I wear paraphernalia associated with racism, well, that means that I'm expressing my appreciation for those ideas and that ideology, right? Well, if I feel that I should be able to beat the shit out of a child, that means that I'm expressing my hatred. Freedom of expression. First Amendment, white. Code word. This is what they look at as quote unquote straight white male discrimination. Attacking black children is what I look at as attempted eradication. Because you remember that Bible that they tell everybody to read? When that Bible that they tell everybody to read, you remember what the Pharaoh did and you remember what King Herod did? The Pharaoh killed all the firstborns. And so did King Herod. So when they don't want you to perpetuate, they kill your kids. That's what they're doing. They also tell you to kill your kids. So Margaret Sanger doing. As much as people read the Bible, the shit that's right in their face, even some of the shit that they can get out of it, it seems like they just don't even get. Look at that. This dude feels like a man. This is a wet dream of a lot of Americans to be in this position. Shout out to my man Bronze of God over on Twitch. If you guys not subscribed over on Twitch, make sure that you guys go over there and subscribe. I want you to understand that this took place in a country with a black government. In a country with a black government on a continent where a lot of people say how stupid we are. When they're responsible as well for us being here, but calling us stupid. So now here it says police in South Africa have charged a white man, and this one just says a white man, not, you know what I'm saying, two others, with attempted murder. Okay, and here's the two others, and the two others with assault after an attack on black teenagers trying to use a swimming pool while on vacation sparked widespread outrage. Now, you want to know what's fascinating? When it comes to these kind of situations, you know what? I couldn't see it when on the Facebook comments, it just said Facebook user. I didn't know who it was. You know what I'm saying? Think about this. Video of the incident, and we're gonna watch this video. How many people seen this whole video? If you guys seen this whole video, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't see the whole video, give me a thumbs down. Video of this incident, which was shared widely on social media, appeared to show a white man, and it says appeared to show. I mean, I don't know, was there filters on it or some shit? I mean, were we hallucinating? You know what I'm saying? Appeared to show a white man choking and striking a black teen in the face before pushing another black teenager into the pool and gripping him in a headlock, seemingly trying to push him underwater. Y'all gonna see all of this happen. Gokong Nakiti, who is 18, told reporters that he and a 13-year-old cousin were assaulted on Christmas Day by white people at a vacation resort they were visiting in Bloemfontein in the Free State province. Nakiti said it started with verbal harassment as people tried to prevent the teens from using the pool. Then it escalated into assault. Nakiti could not be immediately reached for comment early Thursday. Now, here's my question. Where were these kids' parents at? If this was a vacation resort, where were the parents at? You know what I'm saying? Where were the parents at? And pay very close attention. When Tucker Carlson decides to show a video and say black people commit all the crimes without saying it, oh man, white people cheering it on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's pouring out a little bit of dishwater Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? We talk about them being degenerates and harming one of us. Stop being a victim. I agree. Stop being a victim. They want to be scared. Maybe it's time for a role reversal. Maybe it's time for a role reversal. You know, because the thing is that if nothing that we're going through is that bad, then white people should have no problem dealing with what we've dealt with for 400 years. Neely Fuller Jr., right? Stand behind your work. You tell people to stop being a victim, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Not only should you be able to do the exact same thing, you should be the first one to step up and take the challenge. So I'm a firm believer that maybe it's time for the roles to be reversed. I mean, since it's not that bad, we wouldn't be doing anything wrong anyway, right? Think of all the things that we get away with. Slavery was not a wrong. Extortion, getting free land is perfectly fine. If they have something that we like, we can shoot the head off of it and put our face on it. Thanks, appreciate it. Stop being victims, right? So that means that them going through everything that we went through, it shouldn't be that bad. And as a matter of fact, they should show us how to do it better. And they should be eager to do it since they're superior. Right? Does that make sense? Somebody holding their child in the middle of the street, dead, knowing that the officer that killed that child is not going to get any consequence, that is something that you just need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and deal with, right? That means that since they're superior, they should be able to deal with that exact same situation better. Let's find out. Because the fearless shouldn't fear anything. That's why you're fearless. Right? But see, that sounds evil. That sounds mean. That sounds scary. That sounds savage. That sounds criminal. Why? I literally just listed everything that's been done to us and still being done to us. Why do we think that it's criminal for us to do that when the rest of the world tells us it's okay for them to do to us? Stop complaining. I mean, the only thing that happened is that your son got killed. Suck it up, Buttercup. Okay. You should be able to deal with it better and lead the charge at dealing with it better. Let's go. How do you start the role reversal process? Shout out to Carla for answering the Nightbot. How do you start the role reversal process? When you start talking about the role reversal process, people will get extremely uncomfortable. Well, I mean, my question is, what's the alternative? Talking about the role reversal process is absolutely 110% fair game. Now, somebody might say, well, why is it fair game? It's fair game because it's already been proven that the political system has no desire to cooperate with its voters. It's not cooperating with us. And also, what else has been shown is not only does the political system have no desire to cooperate with us, that the population at large is willing to fight along with the government to attempt to stop us from getting, having, and doing what it is we need to do. If that's the situation, you don't have any obligation to do anything or to be loyal to anything. You only have an obligation to be loyal to your own self-sustenance. So now here it says they harassed us because we were black. So what does that mean? That means we need to change it to where somebody is scared shitless to even think about doing anything to us because we're black. Scared shitless to where they lose bladder and bowel control just over the thought of the consequences of crossing us. See, because if you go around and you're scared because you're black, that's an invitation for people to harass you, which is one of the reasons why people harass us. We live in a world that has a human dominated society. Human action is dominated by human psychology. Human psychology works with operant and classical conditioning. If you reinforce negative behavior is more likely to occur. As you can see, with the hate crime statistics, negative behavior is on the rise. More evidence that the world is correct. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the world the way that we see it. The only thing that's wrong is how we're interacting with it. Our interactions are incorrect, but the world is correct. And this is proof. So now these people here, they didn't own this place or anything. They were of no significance, but they declared that they weren't allowed to swim at the pool because they just made it for whites only. We're just going to make this for whites only. Really? Exactly, Tone. Exactly. No, what kind of a, think about this. What kind of a consequence is a protest? What does that actually deter? In order to stop somebody from doing something, you need to remove their ability to exercise the option by any means necessary. The ability to do the action has to be removed. Whatever that may be, whatever that may take. And then we go and be boxers for boxing leagues that they're paying us to beat up each other. You know what I'm saying? That's that flat learning curve shit. That's that life on repeat shit. That's that world is correct shit. You know what I'm saying? So now here says Nakidi's father, Brian Nakidi, said the family had arrived at the resort Saturday for their first family reunion since the start of C19. He said his son had come to him from poolside around noon on Sunday and asked him to speak with several white men who refused to allow the boys to swim. Brian Nakidi said the men told him there had been a misunderstanding. We thought we had settled this matter, he said, but soon several men were attacking the boys and marauding wild animals. I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't believe that. Shout out to the 6'4". What up with it? I don't really buy this father's story. Because I'm sorry, like I just don't buy the story. A scuffle ensued, and this other guy was vice gripping Gokong and telling him now he's going to kill him because he didn't listen. Again, mind you, this is a white person feeling comfortable to do this to a black child with his father there in a black country with a black president and a black military. My thing is, Lana, if that's the case, if those kind of people are too far gone, then those kind of people can't be considered us anymore. Remember that movie, The Matrix? Those digital people that seemed like people until a agent animated their body. Did Morpheus consider them part of the Nebuchadnezzar crew? No. He said anybody still connected to the Matrix is a potential threat. I don't care if it's somebody black. I'm not here to save everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to save myself, and everybody else should be here to save themselves. And nobody has time to be trying to help somebody without no pole or without no life raft who's drowning. Because you know what they say in lifeguard school. If you go swim out in the middle of the ocean to help somebody who's drowning, you just turned it into two people drowning. You could sit here and try to talk all the sense in the world that you want to somebody that's brain dead. But remember, they're brain dead. You're talking to a corpse. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, Brian Nikiti said a younger white man intervened and saved his son's life. He added, "Why didn't you save your son's life?" So now, I mean, this is even, I hate to say it, but now it's just turned into a complete shit show because you're there at the pool. These three white men are attacking your kids. You actually had a conversation with these dudes, and then another white person comes in and saves your kids. I mean, we got the whole anti-black racism and white savior complex all in one damn story. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Not to mention, let's compile it even more. In a black country with a black military, black police, black president, majority black population, you're getting bullied around by some little group of Neanderthals, and another white dude comes and saves your kid. That dude deserves an Akon roast. That dude deserves an Akon roast. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the incident disrupted the family vacation and brought back dark memories for Brian Nikiti. The memories must not be that bad. See, because memories do two things to people. Memories make people have an overactive response, or they make people have disassociation syndrome. When it comes to us here in the United States, I think a lot of the older people that grew up in the times of the civil rights era, they have disassociation syndrome. You can also have a manifestation of post-traumatic stress syndrome where you black out completely and just do whatever's necessary. I don't think very many of them have that problem. You know what I'm saying? You knew what went on back then. It brought back dark memories, and I'm sure you saw some kids get killed, beat up, battered, hurt, harmed, and that wasn't enough to go save your kids. To relive what you have lived before, it's a tough thing, especially if it's reminiscent of the apartheid system, he said. Guess what? I don't know if you realize this, but apartheid means separation. What you were dealing with was a separation at the pool, which means you were reliving the apartheid. That was a system of monopolizing the pool for white enjoyment. This is what I'm talking about. This that shit that Professor Black Truth be talking about white people play dumb and black people want to play dumb right along with them. And again, I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm saying that to prove a point. This is an individual playing dumb. Not only are you playing dumb, but by playing dumb, your kids are in danger, dude. So again, this is a multifaceted problem. The thing is that people will look at this and be like, damn, Rob, you shaming the victim. Damn, Rob, you shaming the victim. I'm not shaming the victim. Let me ask you guys a question. Every time you go outside during the day, you know that the sun is going to come up and you know that the moon is going to come up. Why? Because you've seen that shit happen every day of your life. Have you not seen this every day of your life? So why is it that the sun can come up, you're not surprised? The moon can come up, you're not surprised. The sky can be blue, you're not surprised. The grass can be green, but you're not surprised. But this happens and you're surprised. I don't understand. It does not make any sense. It literally, logically makes no sense. And something not making sense like that is indicative of psychological damage. And that was the whole point, to psychologically damage people until their survival instincts are dead. We're not dealing with carbon monoxide here. You know what I'm saying? You can't see carbon monoxide. You can see 3 funky colonizers. You can see 3 musty Mazungus. And I know for damn sure you can see your kid. Like this when I hear these kind of stories and I hear like the person who's supposed to be the example in the story, the person that's supposed to be taking the lead in the situation, this is infuriating. I don't know, Carlton. I mean, I would assume that that would be part of the story if they said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he was missing a leg or something. You know what I'm saying? Or he was blind or something. I mean, I don't know. What kind of? I mean, if he was that handicapped, what kind of kicking it was they were doing? Because he was at a vacation resort. he was he was on one of those on one of those workers' comp disability vacations, huh? You know what I'm saying? He had to put his little C collar on so he ain't get in trouble. So he says it was a very selfish act of aggression that came from people who subscribe to racism and working against what we are trying to build in this country. Non-racism and Ubuntu, he added, referring to the South African principle underpinning racial reconciliation efforts in the wake of apartheid. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Well, guess what? The fact that it's 2022 and you sat there and watched your kids deal with that, what that means is that that shit's not working. And I'm going to tell you exactly why it's not working. It's not working because of your failure to understand language. There's a reconciliation effort. What does reconciliation say? The restoration of friendly relations. You can't restore something that there never was. So what are you trying to restore? The only thing that you could possibly restore, because the only relation that you have with those people is apartheid. There's no other relation. What are you restoring? Restoring friendly relations? You didn't have a pre-apartheid relationship. Definition number 2, the action of making one view or belief compatible with another. Yeah, I'm sure one of these days oil will reconcile with water, right? And it'll be great. We'll have Italian dressing. You can't make this up. And these are politicians. Shout out to my man Philip. What up with it, bro? Like you can't make this up. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta ask, like, when are people gonna get it? When are they gonna wake up? So now here it says the incident added fuel to a national conversation about persistent racism almost 30 years at the end of South Africa's apartheid era. Again, highly problematic comment. You mean to tell me that a small group of white people is still exerting power-based racism in a country that's a majority black country with a black government? What the this the damn only place in, have you ever heard of the 80-20 principle? I mean, this is a legit example of the 80-20 principle. This is more like the 5%, 95 principle. What kind of insane, statistically anomaly nonsense is this? Super facts, Bronze. Bronze says that's an embarrassment. How you got the numbers and still getting deboed. Facts. And then want to come and tell us, nigga, we do better. Akon said you can go to Africa and build a Fortune 500 country. My G, my dude, I don't know if you've read the news headlines or not, but according to the current headlines, you can't even go to Africa and swim in a damn pool. Know what I'm saying? You talking about build a damn Fortune 500 company. You can't even swim 500 feet in the damn recreation center. The hell you talking about? This is that false equivalency, that nonsense. Look at this. Where is it where a tiny little majority of a toppled empire still running things? Facts, the Pareto rule, 80-20 principle, the rule of 72. What is this nonsense, man? You got to ask yourself that question. What is this? What are we really looking at here? Bloemfontein, one of the country's 3 capital cities, was the site of a 1996 race riot that prompted the University of the Free State campus there to informally, quote unquote, resegregate its dorms. They had to go back to the segregation form to protect themselves in a country where they are the majority. What in the hell is going on? And how can you look at yourself? That's like if you're a world champion Olympian bodybuilder and you getting your ass whooped up and down the street by a little person. What is going on? You are 6'9", 350 pounds, all muscle. And this 3 foot tall, no neck, short arm, big head bully is beating your ass up and down the street. Come on now. I mean, the only thing that you can say to be somewhat polite about the truth is, quote unquote, natural order of things. I mean, really? Really? King Cobra's got some of the strongest venom in the world, but they sitting up here getting their asses ran by mongoose. Oh well. I mean, you got the poison. You sitting up here getting your ass ran by a damn rodent. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what else to do. You got the ultimate weapon. You can't beat this damn mongoose. These damn hedgehogs out here kicking your ass and they don't have no venom. Hey, bro, I can't do nothing else for you. And that's just the reality of it. You hanging on by an ecosystem. I don't know what to tell you. Got the damn pigs running the bacon factory. That shit don't make no damn sense. That don't make no damn sense. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says more than a decade later, viral videos, one in 2008, that showed white students now, students of what exactly, forcing black workers to eat what was said to be urine-soaked food. You got me bent like yoga class. You got me bent like yoga class. White students forcing black workers to eat what was said to be urine-soaked food. And another in 2010 showing black students throwing water at white students. I mean, at least the black students was throwing some water at your dirty asses. You see, the white ones was trying to make them eat piss-soaked food. Now, how many people heard of that story? If you guys heard of that, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. How come when them people be going on them spaces talking greasy, they'll never mention that? Y'all sitting over there letting people put you in a headlock and feed you piss. You serious? Shout out to Rain King. What up with it, bro? Facts, Bronze. You in a country where you're the majority and you got people running around making you drink piss. Man, what? I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It's just they come, they had the food and the piss and the urine all over the food and they put it in my face. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, man. It's certain, man, listen. Body fluids, Sorry. If you take me out, you just took me out. We have to work together to make a better world where things like this, where the white people don't come in here and make us drink urine. Bruh. Have you ever had one of them conversations with somebody where your jaw is just dropped while they telling the story? And then when they get done telling the story, you still sitting there like they still talking and shit. And then like They start talking about something else, and you're still hearing them telling that story. And then you just shake your head and put your head in your palm, like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that. You're at work. Where the hell was you at? What kind of job was you at? Was you in the kitchen or something? You better throw some of that fry grease on them motherfuckers. Like, are you serious? You better get one of them skillets off the stove, turn that motherfucker up, get it hot, and hit somebody in the head. Do something. Are you serious? It was just too much. The student, they came in and they had these big bottles. I believe they had feces and urine in them. They came behind the counter. We were all scared. We said, please don't hurt us. Please don't hurt us. And they said, open your mouth, nigga. And I said, oh no, don't, no, please. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Where a little boozy at? Come on, dog. Come on, dog. No, y'all is not calling into Twitter Spaces trying to run up on people, and you sitting over there getting fed piss Twinkies. Shit stuffed cream cakes. Are you serious? Little dookies. Sandwich bars. Like, come on, man. You see, the xenophobia, there can be no unity with these Akatas because they sit here and talk about the white supremacy that we deal with on the continent. No, bruh, I'm mad for you. I'm angry for you. Like, bruh, I'm hot right now. Like, I'm hot right now. This is that what's that motherfucking name, Bronze? That coach, the one that was like, that was a horrible performance. We got our ass kicked. The playoffs, that's how I feel about this shit. No, I love my team. I want to see y'all win, but yeah, Jim Mora. I'm on my Jim Mora shit. The playoffs. like, what? Yeah, Jim Mora. I'm sitting there like, Jim Mora, that was a disgraceful performance. Like, oh my God. Oh man. So this is what happened. This is gonna make y'all even more angry. Family came to spend the day. So the whole family was there at Meso Resort Conference Center in Free State. My brothers were attacked. So this must be the sister here, by these grown men because they were apparently not allowed in the pool as it's reserved for white people here. The orange Viracet we love. I don't know what that means. Oh Lord. Okay, so just so y'all know, this part right here is about to knock the monetization out of my video, but y'all need to see this anyway. Watch this. See, like, okay, let's talk about this, right? I'm gonna show you guys some shit. See, for one, he should have never tried to get back out of the pool where that dude was at. He should have swam across the pool, right? Now, see that dude that was right there, that was right by him, Should have rocked his ass. He should have rocked his ass. Now watch this. Watch. Now you see right here. You see the one that got pushed in the pool is getting out of the pool. Now you see this fella here thinks he's tough and he's pushing this kid, right? He's using all of his momentum to push this kid. What this kid should have done was got a running start and punched him right in that cigarette that's in his mouth. Punched him right in the cigarette. Not punched him in the head, not punched him in the ears, punched him right in that cigarette that was in his mouth. Watch. You see that cigarette? Punched him right in the cigarette. But nah, you running up, you're slippery, bro. You and they're slippery because they're swimming. So you gonna run and put him in a headlock. See, you had a whole opportunity. I would have punched him in the cigarette, but you could have punched his head. He got both his hands around this kid's neck, which means that his whole head was exposed for a knockout punch. Like he could have got a running start and put that dude to sleep. And then while he was falling asleep, pushed him in the pool. Problem solved. You know what I'm saying? Again, there's a lifeguard there. So we're not talking about, quote unquote, deleting somebody. We're talking about, quote unquote, temporarily subduing them. But see, this is a 13-year-old. He got his hands around his throat. Where the dad at? Where the mom at? Look at these sharp fence edges. You see these sharp fence edges? Bruh, somebody's head is going down on one of those. You see that? You see this guy? He ran up and grabbed him by the hair. Ain't no way. I'm telling you, man, ain't no way. Ain't no way. See, look at that. See, so now he's trying to put his head under the water. And see, notice how the guy is trying to dunk this black kid's head under the water, and we got to break up the fight. But what we're going to do is we're going to break up where the black people are, and we're going to let this person go ahead and put this dude's head under the pool. You don't show respect for somebody that doesn't have any respect. You don't fight fair with somebody that don't fight fair. You don't do that. You survive. That's what you do. That part. Or worse, like I said, if it was me, they would have got some hand sanitizer spray in the cigarette lighter treatment. Because I'm not playing with you. Bro, I'm not playing with you. You know what I'm saying? You're going to remember not to fuck with me. Because you don't know what I might pull out my pocket next. And God forbid, had them been my babies at that pool, that water would have been red. And it might have been my blood, but I would have died trying. See that? So now here it says a 47-year-old suspect, which we already know all this, right? This is toward the end of the article. All right. So we've already read that first article. The reason why I went into that was because I wanted you guys to see that one particular part where it had the video showing. But now what I want you guys to see, and definitely appreciate it, make sure you guys show some love to my man Philip Goodman, who shared the video. Definitely appreciate it. If you guys haven't shared the video, please take a moment. Make sure you guys share the video. Also, if you guys are not subscribed, go ahead and take a moment. Make sure you hit that bell icon. And also make sure you guys follow my backup channels as well. All right. How many people have heard the South African president's statements on this? If you guys have heard the South African president's statements on this, give me a thumbs up. If you guys haven't, give me a thumbs down. This is what he said. DSA, I said the exact same thing. Facts. Make sure you guys show some love to RG Titan. Drop some radiation emojis. Please make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the backup channels. That's real shit, Carla. You play to win because you don't know what somebody else's agenda is. You don't know why somebody else is attacking you. You don't have time to read their mind. You ain't got time to negotiate. You save yourself by any means. And if your family is with you or whatever, you save your family. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, South African president responds to video of black teens attacked by white men at swimming pool. Quote unquote, apparently racism doesn't take a day off for the holidays. How is there racism in a place where black people allegedly control the infrastructure and make up the majority? How is racism existent there? How does that work? Do you know that white people are going around trying to say that they're the victims of racism in South Africa? And Trump co-signed it. I know it's some people that, you know what I'm saying, they unapologetically rock with Trump. You know, I unapologetically rock with world domination. You know what I'm saying? And in a world domination situation, that means Trump's not my president. He's my waiter. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, also, apparently racism doesn't take off a day for the holidays. According to Times Live, Free State Police are investigating an assault case that took place on Christmas Day and alleged to have been racially motivated. I mean, alleged. I mean, these men have said that this was a white-only area, but again, this is alleging racism. You know what I mean? And again, this kind of language, right? This kind of language is meant to do two things. It has two purposes. It's meant to gaslight white people into reinforcing this kind of behavior, and it's meant to confuse you and question yourself. Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Of course you're seeing what you're seeing. It's not alleged racism. These white men said that this was whites only. And as a result of that, they attacked some black children. That's racism. That's being a cretin. You know what I'm saying? But here we are questioning things. And I'm not saying you guys, so please don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the average person read this questioning, well, it could have been racism. No, it was racism. Do you ever question if it's water that keeps you alive? Do you ever question if it's oxygen? Maybe if I just stop breathing, right? Let me think about this. If I stop breathing and I just drink water and eat food, how long will I stay alive? No, you don't question. There's no doubt in your mind about that. If someone says you can't come here because you're black, that's not alleged racism. That's an occurrence of racism. You know what I'm saying? So now here's that video clip. And now here it says the father of the boys in the video told SABC News that his sons told him they were being blocked from entering the pool because the white men assumed they weren't guests at the resort, which they were. So now, see, they've completely changed the story, talking about some damn guests at the resort, which they were. And I mean, the white men, they're not employees. So they were being male Karens. They're not employees. Man, listen, man, let me shut up. Let me go to an amusement park and some white person runs up on me and says, "Let me see your ticket." I'm gonna be like, which one? The one you need to write your health insurance number on to take care of your trip to the ICU? Get out of my face before your teeth get out of yours. The fuck? Oh my God. I mean, he's sure rude and aggressive. Yeah, I'm rude and aggressive. You ain't never seen my YouTube channel? I got hazardous material signs all over the place. What does that mean? Stay the fuck away. That's what that means. So now here it says, as we were relaxing, the boys came and told us that they are being prevented from using the pool by a group of white adult males, he said. They said that they were told by the men that the pool is only reserved for people who are booked here at the resort. We then went to the pool to intervene and told the gentleman that we are also booked here and not day visitors. It doesn't matter. If they're not employees, why are you still justifying anything? Why are you still talking to them? Let me ask you guys this. If you went to a white person at a concert and said, "Let me see your ticket. Let me see your stub," or if you're on an airplane and you just happen to ask a white person, I don't think you belong here. Let me see your ticket." Do you think that white person is going to show you their ticket? If you don't work for the company, I'm not explaining shit to you other than how badly I'm going to harm you if you don't leave me alone. That's the only explanation you getting from me. I will give you a full detailed breakdown of what will be broken, how long the hospital stay will be, how long therapy will be, what kind of diet you might have to eat afterwards. I'll explain all of that shit to you. But I'm not explaining a goddamn thing about money because I didn't exchange no money with you. Why do people feel the need to do that? Oh, see, look at the see, I had the receipt. See, we pay right here. See the invoice number 03472560915. Purchase date 12 excuse me 30 of 2022. Nah. That's not how that works. If an employee says, "Sir, can you verify your purchase?" Sure. I had no problem with that. Somebody in the public asked me, "Man, you better go ahead somewhere before I be the reason that you get stopped at the X-ray machine and at every airport you go to for the rest of your life." The hell on. You know what I'm saying? That shit's crazy. So now here it says, so we thought the issue was resolved, but we're shocked to hear to hear that they were attacked after we left. Why? Why like this is what I'm saying. Now, this goes back to the first story. What is the history of interaction that you have with these people in your country? And you're attacked or you're surprised that they attacked you? You've been under attack ever since those people found you. You're surprised? Again, the world is correct. Are we learning anything from our experiences? Are we learning from our experiences at all? Because to me, this is not evidence that there was anything taken from our experiences. You know what I'm saying? This is evidence to me that there's a severe and apparent disconnect. You know what I'm saying? There's a severe and apparent disconnect. So now here it says apparently another global phenomenon includes white people who suffer from a pathological inability to mind their own business. I mean, again, in many cases, that's the culture. Why would it be on these men who presumably aren't employees to police who come into the pool area, whether the black kids were guests or not? And it's not as if they had a reason to assume that the black kids weren't guests, other than, well, you know. And see, like, my thing is, like, if this was my article, I wouldn't have asked that. My question would have been, why did the black people feel the need to cooperate with non-employee white people? Like, I'm sorry, like, I hate to say this, I really wish that, like, these cocky South African people would come to the United States and post up in the hood. Like, I really wish that they would do that shit. Like, I really wish that you would come here and do that shit. But these kind of people are cowards, though. The only reason why they mess with those kids like that was because they're kids. If that was another grown man, they wouldn't have done nothing. The only way they would have done something is if they had guns or if it was like 50 of them. If those were some grown men, man, they wouldn't have did a damn thing. They'd have just sat there looking funny, talking shit. So now here it says, lastly, if that's true, even after being told the black teens were guests at the resort, the white men still tried to force them out. Then it's clear the issue was never whether or not they were guests. This is just a classic case of racist white people who don't want black people swimming in the same pool as them. Simple and plain. So again, my thing is it's people need to start understanding that you have to fight fire with fire. You know what? I'm not trying to be funny, Carlton. The way that a lot of people are, the way that a lot of people are, they might come to the hood and they mess around and be Bloods and Crips. You be like, yeah, I bet you they got taught their lesson. And then you come back and they banging with a blue bandana with a whole gang of black people behind them. It's just like sometimes you just shake your head. Sometimes you just shake your head. And then you really ask yourself, is the world correct? You know what I'm saying? And the answer is always yes. So now here it says on arrival, Members found the groups already dispersed and were approached by a parent of one of the victims who alleged that his two teenage boys, aged 18 and 13, were assaulted by a group of white males over the use of a swimming pool. Police spokesperson Berg McKaylee Montancy reported the suspects, who were all white males as seen on the video circulating, were warned to appear in a court date to be set by the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. So they warned these white men who already felt that they weren't doing anything wrong because of the First Amendment white male privilege to attack black people and black children. But they gave them a verbal warning to come to court. They gave him a verbal warning to come to court. Hey, I need you guys to come to court. Are you serious? Are you serious? Like, you can't make this up, man. You cannot make it up. Meanwhile, President Cyril Ramaphosa responded to the incident by saying, here we go. This is what he said. Racism has no place in South Africa. Actually, South Africa is defined, what it's known for is the apartheid system. South Africa is the place of racism. You just ain't benefiting from it. You serious? Hell out of here with that bullshit. South Africa doesn't have racism. There's no place for racism in South Africa. Why? Because white people got tired of bullying y'all and they went back to the Netherlands. Are you serious, bruh? Stop lying. You got a little grandiose complex going on. Keep it a buck. Because if you don't keep it a buck, then you'll never be able to fix the mistakes that created the downfall of what's going on over there anyway. Stop lying. Racism, South Africa is the place of racism. There's a specific kind of racism to South Africa called apartheid. What are you talking about? This dude already sounds like a white person from the United States. Racism has no place for the United States. Hello, below the Mason-Dixon line. They should call that shit the racial Dixon line. We're allowed to practice racism in the North. We're allowed to get buck wild with it in the South. Racism had geographical locations here in the United States. What you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, people just, they come up with stuff and they just say anything, and it's not true. So now here it says that it should be condemned by all who reside there, and those who commit the racist crimes should suffer the appropriate consequences. Okay, then get busy. Get busy, like Saigon said in that song with the Super Mario Brothers beat. Get busy. You talk what are you talking about? Get busy, bruh. Racism has no place in South Africa. That it should be condemned by all who reside there. And those who commit the racist crimes should suffer the appropriate consequences. Are you serious, bruh? Racism has no place in South Africa. It should be condemned by all who reside there. Well, the small group of people who control all of the money and the resources, who are exerting the racism, are not going to condemn it because that's what keeps them in power. Why would you expect them to condemn it? And those who commit racist crimes should suffer the appropriate consequences. Okay, you're the government. Get them. Get on it. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you just give somebody a little slap on the wrist and a little post-it note talking about, I saw you assault these kids, make sure y'all come to court. I don't really think that's gonna encourage anybody to believe that you're serious in your efforts. I don't think so, bruh. I think you might have dropped the ball on that one, family. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they believe you, bruh. I tell you, because I don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Our Constitution means exactly what it says when it declares that South Africa, and that means all of South Africa, belongs to all who live in it. Yeah, all the white people who live in it. As Black and white South Africans, here we go. We should be uniting in condemning all manifestations of racism and attempts to explain and defend such crimes. This right here is an attempt to defend such crimes, because this right here gives them the ability to define their own racism. Well, nothing that we ever did to you people is racist. You see, I was defending myself. You see, I didn't know if those people had paid to be at the pool. You see, it wasn't really racism. You see, as the victims of the apartheid system in South Africa, the Constitution in South Africa should be based on and framed only on the utmost respect and protection of South Africans, and making sure that there's systems in place that no other group of people can ever institute apartheid racism again. That's what the Constitution should be about in South Africa, not no stupid ass unity shit. But you want to sit up here and play kumbaya? Shout out to my man Jared. What up with it, bro? Do you want to sit up here and play kumbaya? Let's hold hands together. You know what I'm saying? Let's not and say we did. They want to hold hands with the people that's cutting their wrists. And that's why you're bleeding. Got to ask yourself the question, is the world correct? How long can you sustain yourself bleeding out? You know what I'm saying? Racism is not a problem to be fought by Black South Africans only. Actually, it is. Again, another incorrect statement. As long as racism is kicking your Black ass, it is your duty to defend yourself from it. Are you serious? Like, this is what I'm like. This right here is a recipe for eternal subjugation. Even though we are the ones getting our asses whooped, it is not our responsibility to fight. Are you for real now? Shout out to Jared and Carla for answering the Nightbot. Who else responsibility is it? Let me ask you guys a question. If every time you walk down a certain street, you know what I'm saying, a bully comes out. Shout out to RG Titan for answering the Nightbot. Is it your responsibility to deal with that? You can either take another route, you could pack you a little weapon. But if you continue to go around that corner or down that street or in that neighborhood unprepared, you're making that choice to continue to do that. The expectation of a good Samaritan or the expectation of somebody else to intervene from the outside is absurd. You and you only are responsible for your own heartbeat. He says racism is not a problem to be fought by Black South Africans only. Who else is going to fight it? Why would anybody else fight it when everybody else benefits from it? Literally everyone else benefits from it. Why would anybody else fight it? If the ATM machine is just spitting out money, who gonna pull the plug? Are you serious? Ain't nobody pulling the plug out that machine until it spit the last damn dollar out. Seriously? And then people still ain't gonna pull out the plugs. They're gonna hit the screen and see if they can get some stamps to come out of it. Let's keep it a buck. Seriously? He says we must defend our continuing national mission of ridding our society of the divisions and the hurts of our past. No, Again, this is when it comes to black people are the only ones that have this silly goofball narrative. And it's not a narrative that these people created. It's a narrative that the world power put together, the United States, the UN. So again, I don't want people to think that I'm being disparaging. I'm not talking down on people. I'm talking about what's going on. We must defend our continuing national mission by ridding our society of the divisions and hurts of the past. Let me ask you something. How did they stop the Holocaust? They got the Nazis and Hitler up out of there. How did they stop the Islamic State? They got the Taliban and Al Qaeda up out of there. How did they stop the Soviet Union? They weakened the Communist Party. All of those actions involve directly getting people up out of there. Our shit is some cloudy, vague, well, we just gotta, if all the stars align and, what I'm saying, all the planets and the stars and the moons combine. No. I don't fuck with Fresh and Fit, but we gotta start doing the Frank Castle thing. Shout out to Hollywood. What up with it? We gotta start doing the Frank Castle thing. They still catching alleged Nazis to this day. I told y'all about John Demjanjuk, Ivan the Terrible. They just recently captured some woman. When the last time an Adoso got captured and tried for crimes? They protect the Adosos. They protect American beneficiaries of racism and white supremacy. Like that woman that got Emmett Till killed. Was her name Carolyn Bryan or something like that? They protect those people. Wanted to help Ben Affleck hide his family legacy of being a plantation and slave owner. Joe Biden had the white media writing all kind of quote unquote fact checks talking about his family didn't own slaves. Then later on it comes out that he did. We're the only people that don't hunt down and eradicate the people who perpetrated injustices against us. When it comes to every other group of people, they do. Let there be an American spy in Russia. Brittany Griner coming home, but the American spy ain't. Let there be an American spy in Venezuela. Yeah, you can get a couple gallons of gas, but this motherfucker ain't coming back home. Sorry. Think about that. If you never focus the scope, if you never look through the scope, if you never see the target in the crosshairs, guess what? You're never going to hit the target. You're never going to hit the target. No, I don't think anybody has ever even called for Adoso persecution. Adoso sequestering. I want to sequester some Adosos for questioning. And I mean, again, seeing that we're foundational Black Americans, it can't be considered hostile because they probably related to us. And, tracking your genealogy, quote unquote, last time I checked, it wasn't legal. So if I try to find a slave owner or a slave owner's descendants by tracing my own last name, I mean, shouldn't nobody have a problem with that, right? Because, just like the police, I just want to ask you a couple questions. I just want to ask a couple questions. Let me ask you that. They said that Islam was a threat, right, to Western democracy, right? They killed Osama bin Laden, didn't they? At least they say they did. They killed his ass. He gone. They got his ass up out of there. How long have they been saying white supremacy is the biggest threat to domestic security? What white man have they taken out? They take motherfuckers that kill black people out to eat, but that's about it. They said black identity extremists were a threat. They took them up out of there. COINTELPRO. Rick Ross. What quote unquote white supremacists have they taken up out of there? They didn't even take people up out of there in Germany. They made a whole closed file for them, sealed with a quote unquote paperclip. Operation Paperclip. Helped them relocate. They had whole ass witness protection, hiding motherfuckers from the Nuremberg trial. The United States did that shit. So the United States has always been on the side of racism. The United States has always, in every situation, even when it comes to white people against white people, today, currently, a war of white people against white people, even still, the United States is still on the side of the most extreme white people. They still on the side of Ukraine with Nazis. Even when it's white people versus white people, the United States will always take the most extreme country that has a record of racism and anti-blackness. I mean, yeah, Russia shouldn't have detained Brittany Renner, and they say some off the hook shit sometimes. But I mean, I ain't really seen any footage come out about some shit going on in Russia like that shit that was going on in Ukraine. I haven't seen anything like that. Now, if it is, somebody correct me, but I haven't seen no footage of no shit like that. Russians might be nationalists. They proud to be white. You know what I'm saying? They get on some bullshit and be in a little separate weird ass shit too. But I've never seen I've never seen no crazy ass, not only outright anti-black shit like what they was doing in Ukraine, but just proud to be Nazis. Yeah, I mean, we got a Nazi battalion equipped with swastikas all over our uniforms that the United States is giving billions and billions of dollars to. I've in any situation, it's always like that. Look at the United States now. The majority of the population really actually believes that the Confederate Army was the heroes. The majority of the United States is cool with sending billions of dollars to a country that uses a Nazi military battalion. People need to wake up and see what time it is, man. People ignore these patterns, and like the thing is, like, you can't ignore the patterns. It's pattern recognition. If you ignore the patterns, that's where a lot of problems are gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? You can't ignore those problems. One thing that I think that people need to start doing is really pay very close attention to the pattern recognition and start seeing if they could put two and two together with things that they notice on their own. You know what I'm saying? Because all of these things are things that can help you, or all of these things are things that could possibly hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, shout out to Val and shout out to Jared for answering the Nightbot. And yeah, facts, RG Titan. We've seen this over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says again, we must also be united in ridding our society of the violence we see in the videos of the incident at the Free State Resort, whether such violence comes with racism or not. Okay, you want to get rid of it. You know where those people came from. Get them back in the Netherlands. Get them back in the Netherlands. Those people who are from a rocky iceberg, who like to go all over the rest of the world to everybody else's designated area and tell everybody else to go back to somewhere, send them back home. Here's a good example. What you can do is you can take a good look at how the United States treats black immigrants, do that to those apartheid descendants, and get their asses back in the Netherlands. Problem solved. You know what the problem is. There wouldn't be any apartheid if those people weren't there. It's deplorable that adults dealing with teenagers resort to violence with such disturbing ease. It shouldn't. No. What it should say is that it will not be tolerated. Adults dealing with teenagers that resort to violence with such disturbing ease, hurting people physically and offending provisions in our Bill of Rights around security of the person, including the right to dignity and being free of violence. Ramaphosa continued. Under the rule of law, we must let investigations take their course, but under the rule of law, we can and must also declare that racism has no place in our society and that racism has no place to hide. Are you serious? So you do that by posting a tweet. Make sure y'all come to court. This is a joke. This is almost as big of a joke as Akon City, and sadly, they're both on the same continent. Sadly, they're both on the same continent, man. This is absolutely absurd. They say that facts, Jay. They literally, the entire world was unpopulated until they got there. Columbus discovered America. The Pilgrims discovered America. The Mormons discovered Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? Fibonacci discovered the secrets of Sanskrit in Asia. I mean, somehow when it comes to white history and white culture, they always discovered some shit that somebody was already doing. But hey, it seems like people continue to ignore the pattern. And some people have even turned to worshiping those people. So if that's the way that the world turns, then what we see is exactly what should be. The world is correct. What other outcome would there be based on people's behavior? You know what I'm saying? What other expectation would you expect to see? Think about this. Take a deep journey into your consciousness, into your deep brain waves, until you get those good alpha waves and beta waves going. And sit back and relax and just let all of the information put itself together on its own. And when you do that, you'll actually see that the world is correct. But what else you will see is how to deal with it. And once people understand how to deal with it, then and only then will we be able to start seeing some of the changes that we want to see. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice, smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, recommend this channel to a friend, and I will catch you all on the next video. All right? Peace.